Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel Dhyani Classes. If you are watching my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever new video will be uploaded. So in today's video we will cover the poem An Elementary School in a Slum from the class 12th CBSE. So let's jump into the video now. Let's talk about the author. An Elementary School in Slum is written by Stephen Spender, 1995, and he was an English poet, novelist and essayist who concentrated on themes of social injustice and political discriminations, especially the class struggles in his work. His poems were often inspired by social protest. Introduction of the poem. The poem written by Stephen Spender, and he describes the social inequalities which are prevailing in society. In the poem, he describes the poor condition of the students of an elementary school which is situated in a slum area. The poet wants to let everyone the poor study method and living standard in slum area. He wants to draw attention to everyone towards these children who are going through tough time, do something for them so that their life can be improved and they may get trained to become good citizens rather than criminals. Theme of the poem. In this poem, Stephen Spender deals with the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. He presents the theme by talking of two different and incompatible worlds. The world of the rich and the civilized has nothing to do with the world of narrow lanes and cramped holes. The gap between these two worlds highlights social variance and class imbalance. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair was torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her weight down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunned, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's grenade disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So in the beginning of the poem, the poet says that far, far away from the gusty waves, these children's faces. So here poet is saying that he observed the faces of poor children. So what he observed here? He observed gusty waves in their faces. That means strong, sad waves or unhappiness and dullness. That refers to city where rich and influential people live. The phrase far far indicates those children who live in the villages and they don't have such connection and the city life, as they are victim of poverty and they are too poor to live in the cities, and says that they look like rootless weeds and their hair was torn around their pallor. That means the poet describes the condition of those children and they are looks like rootless weeds. That means pale and dry like unrooted weeds and grass. The phrase unrooted weeds describe insecure, unimportant and useless, and the society perceives those poor children and they are considered as weeds. That means useless. So poet describe their hair are torn. That means their hair are split, divided into the two parts, and round their pallor. That means their hair are split on their unhealthy faces, or it falls on their pale faces as if they have been torn apart. The tall girl with her weighted down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky hair. So poet saying that there is a tall girl whose body is so weak because of lack of healthy food, and it seems to be she is incapable of holding her head due to weakness. That's why the poet says weighted down head. On the other hand, the poet saw a boy who is as thin as like a paper sheet and his eyes looks like rat's eyes, probably because of starvation. So here rat's eyes describe the greed that is reflected in the boy's eyes, and he wants to achieve everything. Of twisted bones reciting father's Grinnell disease. So here the poet describes another boy in the class. According to him, he is stunted. That means short-heighted boy, not very tall, and twisted bones, whom the poet calls unlucky hair. That means son of the father, and he seems to have bone disorder inherited from his poor father. His lesson from his desk at back of the dim class. So poet saying that there is a boy who is sitting on his desk and reciting his lesson. The poet throws light on his condition to show why these poor students cannot read or don't have a bright future. One unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So here the poet saw another boy who is very sweet and young, and who was sitting in at the back of the dim class, who is unnoted. The poet calls the class dim, which has two meanings. First, that there is a no light at the back of the back and second, and second it refers to the darkness of poverty which prevails over the boy, as his mind is not in the class, or he was not paying attention and unaware what is happening in the class, and he is dreaming about a squirrel's game which he saw in a tree room. Again here poet is explaining what kind of atmosphere the poor student have. They do not have any interest in studies because they can't read or understand, so their mind remains occupied with other things. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized doom riding all cities, belled flowery Turley's valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, were all their futures painted with fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of words. So in the second stanza, poet is saying that on sour cream walls, donations Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized doom riding all cities. So in this stanza, the poet compares two conditions: poor living in slum and rich living in cities. The poet saying that something about the wall of the school, that they are cream in color, like a color of sour cream. So what does the phrase on sour cream wall indicates? That means the color suggests the decaying aspect and pathetic condition of the lives of the children in a slum school. According to the poet, the sour cream walls of a school which is in poor locality have the inscription of donations and a photo of Shakespeare's head. The line contains symbols having deep meaning. The sour symbolizes bad smell and cream refers to gloomy. Donation refers to fact that these schools are on the mercy of rich people, and Shakespeare head symbolizes tough study which these poor students cannot understand. Though Shakespeare works are meant to be enjoyed and beyond the understanding of poor student. Cloudless at dawn, civilized doom riding all cities, belled flowery, Turley's valley, open-handed map. So there is the picture of civilized doom riding all cities. That means an ideal place which rich and so-called civilized people live. The word civilized has been purposefully added in this sentence. It directly suggests that poor are uncivilized and should not be considered to be humans. Rather, they are undesired species which should not live in cities. Then there is a picture of Turley's Valley. It is beyond reach to the poor student. That means they can't afford to go there. So the poet is saying that there is also open-handed map on the wall which refers to the world to the poor children. However, This world is different from the world of poor. For them, their world is not that they see in the map, but what they see outside the window, that is slum, dirty area, and huts. So it is the world where all the future is painted with fog. So fog refers to light, lack of light, and lack of beauty and hopelessness. A narrow street sealed with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars or words. So here poet is describing that these places where poor people live, and they live in a narrow street which is sealed in with a lead sky. That means the future of children is locked by the seal of lead. That means due to poverty they are not able to grow up in their life, and it is far, far away from rivers, capes. That means cities near seas and stars, which all are shown under the words of book. So lead is heavy metal, they cannot go beyond their present condition. So all those things mentioned in the book are unachievable for them. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that sillily turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children were skin peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slum as big as doom. So here poet is saying that surely Shakespeare is wicked, the man a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. So according to the poet, it is sufficient that Shakespeare is wicked, that means wrong, and map which was in their class wall with ships, sun and love, that's something which poor don't have, a bad example for poor children. For lives that silly turn in their cramped holes. So here poet is saying that these beautiful things to those living in cramped holes, that means a living place where poor people living like congested huts tempt them to dream, and thus they involve in crimes like stealing and kidnapping, etc. So here poet describing how they forced to do bad activities in their life and why they are choosing this difficult path for survival. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap, these children were skin peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. So here poet is saying that they go from fog, that means they go through the hopeless life, to endless night, that means to involve in criminal activities. So here poet emphasizing that hopeless in life is the root cause which force them to involve in criminal activities in their coming life. So due to hopeless life, they choose this path to lead their life, and that's why the poet says that study and the thing which are shown to student are morally wrong. That means wall painting and other pictures which was hung on the wall doesn't make any difference to them, because what they see on the wall is unachievable for them, and they have burning desire to fulfill those desires. So fulfilling those desires, they try to get it done by wrong ways. That means they can do anything for fulfilling their burning desire, whether it is crime or stealing. So this is the underlined statement by the poet, and something we have never seen or heard saying so. So poet is saying that the children are so poor and malnutrition, that's why they are looking very weak, and one can see their slag heap, that means their bodies which look like a heap of waste. So they are wearing spectacles of steel which mended glass, that means broken glasses with which look like bottle bits, that means small pieces of glass bottle on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. So here poet says that all of their time and space, that refers to poor children world, and their world is without hope and gloomy. That means their future is not bright and there is no scope for them to lift up their life. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. So the poet here urging to the book publisher and educator and trainers and teachers to blot their future. That means paint their poor children's future and their map which hang on the wall in their school and slums. That means make a map of slum which are as big as doom. That means these slums areas are huge because of poverty. So here poet is trying to say a poet trying to say that these kids have to face so many hardship in their lives, as these slums are getting bigger day by day and they will destroy the future of these children, and it is very difficult for such a kids to escape from there. So as the last two lines shows a poet's anger and rage on seeing the worst condition of the poor children, and he knows that their condition, so according to the won't get better. So instead of showing them big dreams which they can't achieve, they should be told about their own world, that is slums. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break or break open till they break the town, as show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, and white and green leaves open history theirs whose language is the sun. So in this final stanza, poet is saying that the dream of a poet is to set the children free from all bondage. According to the poet, unless a governor or an inspector or a visitor come for inspection, the condition of student remain the same. That means government and local inspector as well as individuals should pay attention on these children and strengthen their future for better life. This map becomes their window, and these windows, that means there is the only way to see outside the world is map which is hanging on the wall of their schools. That's why they see the outside other unachievable world in map. That means none of them pays attention on these slums. This make them the neglect ones, the shut upon their lives like catacombs. So here poet is saying that window to outside world remain closed and they are confined in their slum like catacombs. That means they are bound to live and remain in their slum as dead life as cemetery, and they don't have no way to escape from there. So here poet comparing their life as dead life in cemetery which can't move from one place to another place. Break or break open till they break the down. In the next line, the poet requesting to the authorities to work out on their basic needs by providing them good nutrition as well as education and sanitation, or else they will break the town. That means they will fight or protest against the current ruling government and broken all failed system. Further poet is saying and show the children to green fields. That means he is urging to the authorities to show them green field. That means the bright future with hope which they have seen in the books, and make their world run azure on gold stand. That means higher authorities should pay attention on it, and this will take them away from fog to azure sky. That means the poet here wants to say that in this way the kids can be taken away from the darkness to their present to a bright future. So gold sand refers to a poor condition of the children. So saying these two things, green fields and gold sands for the children, so we can understand the whole idea that poet asks authorities to give hope and freedom to these hopeless children. Finally, the poet urges run necked into books at the white and green leaves open. That means the poet requesting to the rich and other supportive authorities to let their tongue run necked. That means consider their voice as like as other people and let them free into books which they read in white, and that is their school in white walls. So in this way they will be able to reach green leaves. That means the beauty of nature or other places which they used to see in the books. In the end, the poet is saying history there, whose language is the sun. That means they will be able to write their own history whose tongue is the sun. So sun represent here passion and fire and enthusiasm, and which these children have. So due to lack of money and freedom, they remain in slum areas. There they don't have the way to come out from the poverty and their illness. So poet is saying that if their day to day requirements are fulfilled, their passion as hot as sun will be enough for them to change their condition and write their own history. So the poem began to hopelessness, despair, continued with anger, and finally ended in hope. I hope you liked the video. For more informative videos, do subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever new video will be uploaded. So thank you so much for watching once again. Stay safe, stay healthy.